Two super dudes who want to share their knowledge of pop culture and the art of bullshit. The Open Mic Show with Steve Starr and Cash West.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Open Mic Show. This is episode 38 with Cash West and Steve Starr.
Star of Steves.
The Star of Steves, yes. We have a special guest tonight, Brando. Brando is in guest. Hello, Brando. How are you?
Sorry, I wanted to say hello. I couldn't wait.
Good. Don't eat your microphone.
I can't see him. Man, now I need to click over. Is he eating his microphone? Really?
He's on Skype, and that was funny. Okay, so, all right, so episode 38 is stupid shit we did as kids. All right, so this is basically an episode of us talking and telling stories of dumbass things we'd done as kids that could have either almost got us killed, or it was just wild or stupid in general. I'm sure we have a lot of stories. I'm sure you guys have a lot of stories. So if you have anything, email us at peskycatent@gmail.com. Tell us about the stupid shit you did when you were a kid. So we're going to let Brando start tonight, since he's the guest, and we're going to let him tell us about his Sudafed Troll Mountain adventure.
Oh, jeez. All right. So, yes, I am the Brando. So, yeah, I was about 10 years old, guys. I was at my grandparents' house, which I did often when I was real younger because they pretty much let me get away with anything. So, anyway, in the middle of the night, I felt like I was sick. And so for whatever reason, and you got to remember I was like 10 years old, so I probably only weighed like 90 pounds or less. I don't know.
I ate like 30 Sudafed.
Yeah, not 30, but I took like 4 of them and then went back to bed. And I woke up in the middle of the night sweating, right? And all I could hear in my head, it was because earlier in the day at school, in elementary school, we had music class that day. And the teacher had made us listen to Night on Troll Mountain. And if you're not familiar with the music, I think it's by a German composer, but I can't remember his name. But it's also utilized as the theme song for Inspector Gadget, like a little snippets of it. But it's a bigger piece of music. Anyway, that kept going through my brain, and I kept sweating. I kept looking outside. I kept thinking that someone was coming to get me. So I pulled all my blankets and covers and my pillow and put it underneath the bed and slept under the bed that night. As I was tormented by the sounds of Night on Troll Mountain. And there was a lightning storm. There was a lightning storm that night.
That's your Sudafed story? You took 4 Sudafed when you were 10 and you tripped?
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is at one point in my life. So hold on. All I want to say is I definitely at one point in my life put more than 4 Sudafed into my body, and I don't think I ever tripped balls.
I don't think I've ever tripped. I don't care how. No, dude, but I have drank NyQuil, and
they just get you drunk.
No, I mean like bottles of it because we were deployed to an unknown location, and we didn't have no other way to get drunk, so we drank bottles of NyQuil. And let me tell you, NyQuil and Sprite's not bad, but it hurts your stomach.
Wait. The stomach and I feel like shit medicine.
Cash for more recipes. I'm gonna post that on my fucking IG.
Is it Sprite and NyQuil?
Sprite bottle and
NyQuil and fucking.
Follow me for more.
I don't even think it was NyQuil. I think it was like Robitussin. I think it was Robotrip.
Oh my god! So, dude, that's even worse. That's like you're not even drinking like real NyQuil. You're drinking like bargain brand NyQuil.
Tussin, bro. It's that Tussin, son.
Isn't that what they call lean?
Yeah, but I think it's stronger than that. That's promethazine, which I've done that too. That's pretty good. Yeah, good time.
So, what other stupid things did you do as a kid, Cash?
Because we want to know, dude. Let me joggle my mind up here and think.
I wish
done shit on some ATVs.
I mean, I wish I could remember half of my childhood.
I gotta believe there's something you can remember crazy that you did. All right, so
I dove off somebody's house multiple times over.
I think a lot of kids did that.
I wanted to be a wrestler, only I didn't take it to the extremes that
we
people
did
that we know did.
Yeah, well, that's cool. All right, I got a story about ATV accident I had where I almost died. All right, so I was in the deep backwoods of Virginia. I was probably 12. I want to say I was maybe 13. And we were visiting family out there who had my land out in the mountains. And we were allowed to take out the three-wheeler. Our uncle was like, yeah, you guys can use the three-wheeler while we go down, take your dad to town, and we'll get some stuff, and we'll be back. Right? So my cousin, my older cousin, female, stayed behind, and she lived there, or no, she wasn't even home. I'm sorry. So it's me and Joey, and we're like 12, 13 years old. And
I'd like to point out that Cash has no idea how this story is actually told.
No, I'm just trying to remember it as I go. So you got to remember, I was 12 or 13. I'm almost 40 now, and I wrecked a. It was traumatic for me. Hang on a second.
All the more reason your ass should remember that shit. I got bit by a dog trying to climb a fence
fucks
once.
You up, dude. Sometimes you repress shit. But listen, so we're left alone with this three-wheeler, which is already a death machine, not a four-wheeler. All right, so we're driving on the side of a mountain, and we're racing up and down the mountain. Who can do the fastest time trial? Who can get back the quickest? So, of course, I'm competitive, and he's competitive, and we're racing up and down this mountain on a three-wheeler and timing ourselves. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to beat this time, dude. And I go down there, and I'm whipping it around this gravel on this mountain, and I lose control on the gravel because at this time, I don't realize gravel's loose. I don't realize the physics of it, that I can't gun it on gravel. So I gunned it around a corner, and I did not go forward. I went sideways, and I went off the side of this mountain, literally, and flipped over, took a tree out, a small tree. It was not very big. It was a dead one, too, but it was about 4 inches in diameter. And I took that out, and I missed a big tree with my head by like a half a foot. And I landed upside down with a three-wheeler on top of me, leaking gas all over me.
Holy shit!
I'm trapped.
Was it two-stroke?
Yeah.
Two-stroke.
Yeah, and I'm trapped, dude. And I'm like underneath, and I'm like, help, help! And Joey ran up, and he's like, oh my god! He's at the top of the thing, and I was like, get help! And he's like, who? Nobody's home. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. Right? So he's like freaking out. He don't know what to do. He's like 10, And all of a sudden my cousin pulls up, or, she's a bigger girl, and she's beast mode because she crawls down this mountain and pulls that fucking thing off of me with fucking one arm and pulls it up the side of the mountain and gets me out of there. I'm like, holy shit. It's like, please don't tell my dad. They found out anyway.
All I want to say is I've met multiple members of your family. And of all the members that I've met, I can honestly say I think I've only met like 2 people or 3 people total that are actually of your size. All the rest of them are larger people.
Right. No, it just depends on which side.
So I want to know what happened to you, Joey, and your mom.
Well, Joey takes after my grandfather, who's tall and skinny, and they have all taller. They're like 6'3" or taller on that side. The heavier set side's my dad's side, which I take after in that regard as my huskiness.
He was like this.
My dad was like a girl.
All I know is I know Andy, and then I've seen pictures of other family members of yours that are, and if they're all seem to be of Andy stature or a little bit smaller.
No, nobody else in my family looks like him.
I swear I've seen pictures of people that big, and that's why when you told me that story, that's the first person I pictured in my head.
No, he's not even from that side of that family.
Oh,
and he's only like a quarter related to me. His mom, yeah, he's like.
Is he a Marianne?
No, he's. No. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not going to explain it over the air. Anyway,
right.
It's your turn to tell a story if you got one.
I don't. I told you. I don't do stupid shit.
You want to hear?
I backyard wrestled with my buddies because I wanted to hear how dumb you were.
I've got a good one.
Because I wanted to hear how dumb you were, and I wanted to pose questions to you and Brando and myself.
Actually, Brando's turn.
I got one that Cash might actually remember.
Let's have it.
All right, here we go. So we were in high school, and your brother needed a haircut because of we had to have our hair within regs because of our OTC. So I'm in the middle of doing a fade for his ass, and then I get a call on my cell phone because I had a cell phone at the time. It was like, I don't know, 1999 or 2000. I always had one, and it was work. And I told your brother, I was like, look, dude, I can't finish your haircut, but you can. And I tried to tell him how to do it, and he calls me right as I'm getting at work. He's like, man, I can't get it. And guess what he did? The next day he shows up to school with his fucking head shaved. And he's got such blonde hair, you can't see his eyebrows either at the time. And I'm just sitting there looking, I'm like, what'd you do? He's like, I had to shave it. And I'm like, why? I said, all you had to do was just finish over here. He's like, dude, there's no way I could have done that. That shit was funny. I felt bad for him.
Cash, do you remember that?
No, but why would you shave? Why would you stop in the middle? Like, I'll be there after I finish this haircut.
Well, because I had to close, and I don't think I was going to be back until like after midnight.
No, you let you let the people you work for know, like, yes, I will be there, but I need like 20, 30 minutes. I'm in the middle of something.
You have to understand, Brandon back in his teens was all about work. He was very
like, wait, money?
Yeah, money. Yeah, because I had bills to pay. I had a cell phone. I used to give my mom rent because I didn't want her to tell me what to do. I used to go get checks, right? I get it cashed at Fifth Third, and I go in and have the cash out, right? And I'd make it rain on her, and she'd say stop, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And I'd go back over next door to the garage.
Like, don't bother me.
Good times.
Yeah,
I guess. So, damn.
I got one when I was young again. I was pretty clumsy when it came to learning my body and athletics and riding motorcycles and bikes and everything. So I was riding my bike around the old neighborhood when I was younger, like I did everywhere. And I was usually pretty good, just riding along, and I'd get pretty fast, and I'd do jumps, and I'd take opportunities every chance I seen, and would jump things and do tricks. And,
that's what we did back then.
Yeah, because we were cool.
You see a sidewalk that it's like lifted up on one side, with the trees growing under it. Oh, I'm gonna jump this. I'm gonna jump. I get so much air.
Well, Crystal Lakes had a couple good jumps. This one guy's in the house that one guy had that he kept trying to block it off, but we'd always jump over the shit. But one day I was riding down my street, and I had just got on the bike, and I hadn't been riding long because maybe 2 minutes. Because I was riding down towards the end of the street I lived on, and this old truck was always parked off to the right. Always parked there. Always fucking parked there, dude. And for some reason, it was parked on the wrong side of the road. Facing the wrong way.
Right.
You drive down the right side, you would be facing forward, but it was facing the opposite way. So I don't know what I looked back for. If I looked back for my brother, I think it was my brother, my older brother. And I was looking to see if he was behind me or something, or yelling something back to him. And before I even know what happened, I was on top of this truck's hood. And I was like, oh my God. Like pain, like just hit me all at once. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I opened my eyes, and I'm looking around, and I'm laying on this hood, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I get down, and my bike tire is wedged between the bumper of this truck, the metal bumper, and the ground, but it's like bent. My tire's bent. I bent my whole rim. It's wedged underneath this. I hit it going like 15 miles an hour.
Damn.
On a bicycle.
Okay, so with that being said, I will say I've ran into many park cars on a bicycle in my younger days.
And I always wonder why I have head problems. And
see a pretty girl, and I'd be like, hey, black park car.
I wrecked doing that once. Don't get me wrong. But, dude, I fucking hit this truck so hard. And I fucking tried to pull my bike out, and I couldn't get it out. It was wedged so hard. And my brother had to help me, and we got it out. And the truck was fine. It was metal, steel.
I was going to say back in those days, they had the front bumpers were all like multi pieces of like aluminum or steel. Like,
the truck was fine.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, I remember one time when I was little, like I think it was like 5, right? I ran my bike into a parked car in front of an apartment where all the people that owned the car were right in front of it. And I hit the sidewalk hard too, and I was like bleeding from my knee, but I could not get my bike and me out of there fast enough because I was so like I thought they were going to yell at me and stuff. And then I refused to go.
Looking at you like you little shit,
right? Do we got another one from Steve?
I mean, like I said, there's not really. Okay, so let me ask you guys this. Seeing as how I can't come up with as good a story.
Hang on, I got another one that involves.
I was going to say I got like.
No, hold on. Do you think? And I know that as adults, we'd like to think that us as a younger generation, we're smarter than the current generation. But let's be 100% honest. Do you think that some of the shit that today's generation is trying to pull off and do stupidity wise, like these challenges and shit, do you think that your dumbass self as a younger kid would have done them?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you one thing, bud. This is the one thing I know about the internet. And this is the one thing I know about older people using the internet. If the internet had been around when any of us were kids, we'd all be doing the same stupid fucking shit.
Oh, yeah.
I was a dumb fucking kid. I did stupid shit, dude. And that's why I'm talking about it. And I'm not, this is just some of the cupcake shit, you know?
Right.
I'm not even going to go into detail. Some people will be like, you need mental help. Like, yeah.
I don't disagree with that, but like I said, seeing how I can't come up with just as good stories, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was a dumbass when I was little. I remember doing dumb shit, but could I sit and pinpoint and tell you a story about it? Fuck no, dude. I was stupid.
There's a reason, though, that people say we're stronger, you know, because we did do dumber shit like jump our bikes off 10-foot cliffs and
or like jump
shit
off
like
of
that.
Because, like a metal slide on the side. Actually, well, see, I keep finding them in my brain now. I just found
because our generation and before was the outside generation. We weren't stuck inside on computers and shit like that. Now, you know, there was things like people were like, "Oh, you're on your phone all day." Well, goddamn, you look at the newspaper for 4 hours a day. What's the difference? You know, that's the only difference. It's generational differences, but you know, otherwise, you know, we were the outside generations, but you know, we were dumb. We did stupid shit our friends dared us to do. You know what I mean?
All the time.
Yeah.
You guys
I dare you to snort this condom on the internet.
You guys want to hear something really fucked up?
I'm down.
All right. So here you go. This is that slide. So, all right. I was probably maybe 7 or 8, and the only reason why I know this is because we hadn't moved to a different apartment yet. There were two different in the apartment complex. There was 2 different playgrounds we could play on, and there was one with a big metal slide. And then there was one with a jungle gym. We would always hang out at the metal slide. Wait. I won't say his name, but this kid, I didn't really care for him, but my mom and his mom were like best friends. And we were all like trying to go down we were all trying to see if we could get like because there was all a bunch of little kids, and we were trying to see if we could all get like a bunch of people going down the slide over and over and over again. So we're all doing it, you know, going as fast as we can. And there were people coming up behind me, and that kid, my mom's friend's kid, he wouldn't go down the slide. So guess what I did? I pushed his ass off the side, and I thought he'd be fine. Turns out he breaks his arm. That entire summer, he was wearing – yeah, I know. I also bit kids too. I was a biter. But anyway, the whole summer, because my mom and his mom were hanging out all the time, that whole summer, he had to wear a Wonder Bread bag over his casted arm whenever we went to like Caesar's Creek or whatever. and I kept thinking it. I was always like, why didn't I get in trouble for this? And it was because I don't think he realized that I pushed him off. So yeah, that's that one.
Hey Brando, can you see my picture just out of curiosity? I just
froze. Oh, there's that ukulele.
Yeah, I just happened to see that and was like, "Oh, you were talking to me about that the other night."
I could probably play that upside down. I picked up a ukulele one time and played Samurai Cop like real quick.
Cool.
So,
all right. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand.
Yeah. Has anybody else got another one? Because I got another one.
So I do kind of remember. Damn it, I'm trying to remember how old I was when I did it. I don't even remember that.
Age is irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, it was younger. I was probably like 6 or 7. One of the parks in the town I lived with had one of them rocket slides. You know what I'm talking about when I say a rocket
slide?
slide?
I haven't seen one of those in ages.
Yeah, like late 80s, early 90s, just to throw it in there. I do recall getting to the top where they had the slats to where, like, if you were tiny, you could just barely fit through them. I climbed through them and climbed up to the top of that and jumped off it once.
What is a rocket slide?
It's on the top. It's go ahead.
Hold on. I'm just gonna look it up and I'll send a picture of him to him.
Okay. Cash, you got another story?
Yeah, one time. It's more vehicle destruction on my street. Sorry to my neighbors when I was younger. We were playing football, street football. We did it at least 3 times a week. This is before you moved there.
Okay.
And we're down at my buddy's house down the way at the corner, that midsection road that cut off my street halfway down. So we're playing football, and I was wide receiver at this time. I usually played quarterback, but I played wide receiver. So I ran out, and I was running a cross route. And mind you, I zone in when I play football, so I wasn't thinking about nothing around me. And I caught the ball on a cross route. And as soon as I caught the ball, I met, I guess you could say, unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Yeah, you hit a rock, basically.
Yeah, that was me that day. And it was a stalemate between me and the car door. But the car door did have a little give, and I dented the whole car door. I mean, it was a Honda Civic. The whole car door was just smashed in. I'm surprised I didn't break the window. It hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I got up and I was like, "Ow!" It was my knee. Basically, I led knee first, and the knee crunched it in and gave that give before I hit the rest of it. And I was like freaking out because nobody had come outside, and I was like, "Oh my god! I fucked this car up." And I went home. I ran back home. I was like, "What do I do? What do I do? My parents ain't home. What do I fucking do?" And I manned up, dude. I finally, after like 10 minutes of talking myself into it, I manned up and I walked down there and I knocked on his door, and he came to the door and he's like, "Yeah?" And I was like, "Sir."
Oh.
He's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Your car door is like mashed." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Can you come out here?" And he came out and looked at it and he laughed. And he's like, "What happened?" And I was like, I was running a cross route and I caught the ball and I hit the car. And he was like, "Did you drop the ball?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "It's like, good job." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "I got insurance. I'll call them tomorrow. They'll fix it." And I was like, "Oh man, dude." But now thinking about it as an adult, I was like, that dude probably had to pay a deductible.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad now.
I wouldn't feel bad. It was a learning experience for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you remember when we were younger, there was people back then that probably would have appreciated the fact that you actually came into the door and said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry."
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, man, but it was rough. I was scared as shit.
I've got a funny one that you both have heard, but I don't think the folks at home have.
Hold on a second. Cash, check the messages and you can see what I was talking about when I say the rocket slide. All right, Brando, go ahead and tell your story.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so I was probably about, what is this fucking noise? I swear to God, there's a ghost in my house. Anyway, I was probably about 7 or 8, maybe 9, because I had both of my brothers at the time, and they were both younger. Well, the youngest brother never got to go to Tennessee with me and my other brother because he would have to go and hang out with his dad on weekends and stuff, and usually when we'd go to Tennessee was on the weekends. One time, I decided to let my brother know that, guess what? Grandma and Grandpa are going to take us all to Tennessee, and you get to come with us. And he's like getting excited. He was about 5 at the time, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And my mom had this huge, big brown leather fucking suitcase, right? And it was like belt straps on it and a big ass zipper. It was basically like you couldn't get into it if you wanted, or what it ends up turning out to be is actually getting out of it. So anyway, I tell him he's got to get all his stuff, or the only way he can come is if he gets in the suitcase with his stuff. And so he buys it, and I zip it up, belt it shut, and I'm like, "All right, let's go." And me and my other brother are sitting there, talking about, "Oh man, I can't wait to go to Tennessee, this, that, and the other." And I'm like, "All right, here we go." And I pushed him down the steps. And he could hear me at every step on the way down. And he hits the landing, and he goes, "Oh," like that.
Hold on, T or L?
It was T.
Oh.
And so I took his ass up the stairs again. I took his ass up the stairs. You sounded almost like him. I took his ass up the stairs again, and guess what? Tossed him down again.
Why would you? This is why he is the way he is.
And then I left him in there for probably about 10 minutes before my mom realized that he was in it, and then she got him out of it and was freaking out. I think I got the Switch that night.
And not the one Nintendo variety.
No, yeah, the Nintendo Switch had yet to come out. I had just barely got my NES, bro.
Hey, Steve there. What time are we at, bud?
That's a good question. We're at 25 minutes.
All right, let's go ahead and go to an ad break, and we're going to come back.
All right.
So we'll be right back.
Record.
All right, and welcome back. So we are on to more stories about stupid shit we did when we were younger. We changed the name.
Yeah.
Because we have a few stories of when we were in our 20s, which is still kids, technically. So
I mean, like we didn't know any better, kind of. But
yeah, but I mean, I had one when I was 16.
let's hear it.
I got kicked out of my house. This is ultimately when I was kicked out and started living on my own. So we went to Kentucky every year for family reunions, and the year I turned 16, I was like, my dad gave me a choice. Do you want to go or do you want to stay home? And I said, I want to stay home. He's like, well, home doesn't mean stay at my house. Home means you can stay at your friends or somewhere else. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I'm still going to stay back. You know, I'm going to stay around here. So they left. I broke back into my house and stayed there. And me and my stepbrother threw a party for 2 nights.
I seem to remember that. Was I there?
Probably, I would assume.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I probably would have been there, but I don't think I remember.
And I ended up leaving though, and my brother was like, "I got this. I'm gonna clean up." And then, but there ended up being beer cans in the fucking sink.
I do remember this. I remember this because I was there. Holy shit!
And I was like, "That's cool." Nobody cleaned up. My dad came home and found it. I came home after, like, "What's up, guys?" And they're like, "You tell me." And I'm like, "Oh fuck." And that's when I made my way out.
Well, we had to clean first, from what I remember, because I seem to remember helping you even grab your shit too.
Yeah.
So we know where you came.
Yeah. Yeah. That started my adventure.
Is that one done?
Hey, what about?
Yeah,
okay. So, Brandon, you have another story before I say something to Cash that's going to spark a story that he said he was going to tell?
Yeah. Mine's not as tragic though, but it's kind of more funny, really. The same place, where I lived in my early 20s, it was like an apartment setup kind of deal, but we had all the apartments, and we called it the crack house because it looked that way. Anyway, so my stepdad was taking out trash, but me, my 2 brothers, Cash's brother, this guy we used to call Crackhead Bob, I think I can say that. And then somebody, my mom used to call him Sweet Lips or something like that.
I'm going to ask a really dumb question. Where was this located at?
Not far from you.
Yeah, is that one that's right there at that dead end?
Yeah, not far from Studio B.
Yeah, because I got a pretty good that happened on your street. I got another pretty good story actually. But anyway, it reminded me it happened on your street. Anyway,
I might have been a part of something that happened with you guys then.
Like we were wanting to play football, but we didn't have enough. We didn't have enough for like 2 teams, and I kept wanting to be all-time quarterback. Cash's brother kept wanting to be all-time quarterback. So I was like, "Fuck it, let's play 1,000 or jackpot rather." And so we did. So my stepdad comes out with a big old like handfuls of trash, right? Because the trash day is the next day, right? And I see him, and I'm like down the hill a little bit because it kind of slopes downward, right? And we're throwing
right.
towards your house.
See, I would have thought that you would throw. Going down the other way? Yeah, going down towards
we had
lake.
There was two houses on either side. Yeah, I figured that, but on Dogwood though, there was just more room for us to run around there at the end of the street.
Well, no, I know that. I'm just saying. I would have figured that you would have. Well, no, yeah, it would make more sense because you get down to the bottom of that slope and you're going the one way. You got that thicket, and going the other way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're gonna fall into that lady with them stupid ass 2 big dogs and 4 yappy dogs yard.
That old man over there too had a garden that he was like all about, like a huge garden. So we didn't want to like trample through it or anything. I'm sure.
Right.
But anyway,
Right. So it makes sense.
My stepdad's coming out with like all this fucking trash, right? And then I'm like, jackpot, and I fucking throw it right at him, right? And it comes arcing down, and it hits him right in the chest, right? And he bobbles around, and then he drops the trash, and then he keeps the ball though. We're all like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, he's got it, And then like, he's like, you motherfucker. And he's like, trash is everywhere. He's like, you're picking it up. You're picking it up. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, it's just going to stay there. And it was like right where I needed to park my car out anyway. And I was like, God damn it. Some sitting there picking up nasty ass trash that's all over the goddamn ground. And then, like, my brothers are sitting there laughing at me. Crackhead Bob's sitting there laughing at me. I'm like, shut up, crackhead.
Oh my God.
Good times.
I wish I would have known that you lived right there. We could have been friends.
Probably pretty good friends too. Because like, I was nuts. Want to hear another story? Or do you?
Hold on. No, I don't. Dude, I've pretty much given everything that I could. We've established that I've dove off too many things in my lifetime for me to remember anything. So rather than trying to have that conversation, won't you just let me say, hey, Cash, what about that graduation story you wanted to tell?
Oh, yeah. So, graduation was a good time in my life because I didn't graduate, but I went to all the graduation parties. And,
like a wedding crasher.
Oh, I got a couple. Speaking of, here, let me tell you this one first. I don't remember whose house this was, but Brando, I know you probably went. We were at a barn, and Paco ended up drinking a whole bottle of 151 and laying on a bale of hay, throwing up all everywhere.
Yes. Wasn't that the wrestlers one? Barn.
Wait,
probably. Yeah,
hang on.
I think
I'm going to ask
who it
you
is
guys a
now.
question. I'm going to ask you a very legitimate question. Was that graduation party broken up by the police?
Not that I remember because I left early, if that's
Okay.
the case. But no, I remember leaving it when it was over, and no, that never happened.
Okay, because I remember some party Tubby tells me about all the time where him and Paco took off running, and he seen Paco fall to the ground, slide, and slick back up. And just like launching himself like he jumped off of a trampoline. I'm like, I want to see that shit, but now I'll never look because I beat him up.
I want to see them both run.
Hold on. In fairness, I've seen Tubby run.
I know. I'm just kidding.
That boy moves. That boy can book though for being as large as he is.
One tubby.
You have to admit that boy moves for a big boy.
Yeah, but
are we thinking of the same people? I think we
where was
are.
I going with my story?
You were talking about you were crashing.
Oh.
You were crashing.
Yeah. But anyway, no. That one was fun because I got to watch him completely go from sober to annihilated, throwing up everywhere in a matter of like a half hour.
I assume that doesn't take much because I've smoked him out. And
no, dude, he was drinking he drank like a bottle of 151. He was chugging it.
But anyway, I know his brother, and I know how much it takes his brother to get drunk.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, right. Give him a dab and see what happens.
It runs in the family.
So, speaking of this other one, we went to this party, and this wasn't even my graduation year. This was like the following year.
Hold on. Can I say something just in case
party.
he listens?
Yeah.
Bill, we're not making fun of you. We love you.
We love you, bud.
No, we're making fun of you totally.
No, we're completely making fun of you, dude, just in case you are. Nah, we are. No. All right, so finish your graduation story. So this one.
There was a party I was told about because I hung out with these people even right before I graduated, but I hung out with them continuing on until the next year when he graduated, and the neighbors. But anyways, he ended up throwing a party, dude, and I don't think he realized what he did because like I think the whole high school came, and this was on the main road in New Carlisle there, and I remember coming into the party, and I stayed there for quite a while. And I remember sitting at the kitchen table, and I started rolling a blunt. And this kid that I played football with walked up to me. He's like, "I didn't know you smoked weed." And I was like, "There's a lot of you motherfuckers don't know about me that I kept from you because I didn't want to talk to you, But anyway, I was like, "Yeah, you want to smoke?" And he's like, "Sure." So I ended up hanging out with a lot of people I probably wouldn't have. But at the end of the night, dude, like people were, when I say wasted, I mean falling down the stairs, falling over each other. this is a bi-level house. People are smoking weed in the closets. Fucking people are passed out everywhere. I don't know, dude. When I left that party, half the fucking 30-gallon fish tank or 50-gallon fish tank, whatever it was beer. Half of it was beer. Half of the fucking fish tank was beer. The fish were floating upside down in it. The dog was drunk, I'm pretty sure.
I've heard additional. If this is the one I think it is, I've heard additional stories about this party post you telling me, because I know the person whose party this was.
I mean, literally insane. It was the wildest party I've. Well, no, I take that back. I went to a party at University of Cincinnati. It was a 13 kegger. That was pretty wild, but that was a wild party for high school. You know.
Yeah.
And he loved every minute of that party, other than the fact that nobody helped him clean it up.
I think I specifically remember helping clean, but I wasn't cleaning the fish tank. I had nothing to do with that. I just remember looking around like, God, this is a wild party. I'm sure that's burned into a lot of people's memory, though.
That one?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that was fun times.
This is good time.
I'm glad it wasn't my house. I'm glad it wasn't my dad's house, but I still got kicked out for mine. So, and it wasn't, my party wasn't nothing like that. That was just like 10 people, a few friends. Low key as fuck. His shit was like everybody knew. Like he went around yelling like graduation party.
Right? Yeah.
Why would you?
When we're off the air, I'm
going
gonna ask.
Like, if we were ahead of our time, we could have. What's that movie about that graduation party where those kids throw it and it's like insane? Like
Project
they drove
X?
cars into the pool.
Either Can't Hardly Wait or
No, the recent, the last 5 years, Project
Project
X or something. Project X, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
the
big
movie
party.
about the ultimate party.
Yeah, the kids. It was like a fake documentary about throwing a party.
Is that the one with Will Ferrell in it?
No, the little person drew like a Mercedes into the pool. It was like they had like a concert and they were jumping off like garages and shit into like, it was insane, dude. But the point is that party could have turned into that really fast. But I'm surprised the cops didn't come. I don't know how they didn't.
Right, because it's only a couple blocks away.
Yeah, on the main drag.
Right.
I have to mute myself for a little bit, guys. So
That's okay. But like seriously, I don't understand how we partied like that and not a fucking single cop showed up.
I think it might have been the sign of the times. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
nowadays everybody's like ready to fucking throw asses down on the ground. You know
Ready
what I
to
mean?
fucking SWAT for a graduation party.
Yeah, right.
There's kids drinking beer.
Oh my
and
god!
cigarettes.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, yeah. I can't believe I got to be carded now for goddamn cigarettes. Let me tell you that.
Let me tell you about that.
I remember when I was a child, I used to be able to light up a
I bought
cigarette.
cigarettes when I was 12 years old.
Waffle House.
I bought cigarettes at 12 for my sister, who said that she was my mom on a note. And I was like, okay. I would go down to what is now Quality.
My mom let me try her Marlboro Menthol Light 100s once because I kept asking what it was like.
Oh, you want to hear? Okay, here. You just reminded me of a really good story. You guys want to hear dumb shit we did as kids? I hope my mom listens to this one.
you're grounded for life, bro.
All right. Setting is gas station, 1980s. I want to say 88.
Okay.
1988
I was
gas
2
station.
years old.
Probably somewhere in around a small city. Okay. We pull into the gas station. I remember this vividly until the point that I don't. This is funny. I was 5. All right. And we pull in the gas station and my mom proceeds to go inside, leaving me in the car to go pay for her gas. Windows down. Not a care in the world if anybody snatches me right out the car.
It was a different time, man.
Different time, man. But anyway, point. In case that she was driving around. What are them? Were they called thermoses? Like they used to like water bottles with the hoses that came out of them, and you would drink out of them. Is that what they called them? Was them thermoses or koozies?
Yeah,
or what they called them?
Yeah, 'cause I'd say like did it have a lid?
Yeah,
and then it
had
had
a
straw.
long lid with a straw that came out of it, and it was plastic, and it was squeezable. So it was like a
Squeezies. I used to think they were squeezies or whatever.
okay. Anyway, point being is this was filled with orange juice, or so young Cash thought.
Oh no!
So we're sitting at the
Cash
gas
got
station. And
drunk.
Mom goes in, and I'm like, "Mom, get me something to drink." She's like, "I ain't got no money." I was like, "Fuck it, I'm drinking your orange juice because you want to be like that. That's cool." So I chugged this orange juice, bro. I'm thirsty. 5 years old. She says she come out. I don't remember after that. She says to this day, she walked out of the gas station to her 5-year-old getting out of the car, but not getting out of the car, falling out of the car, and trying to run. And failing miserably when she grabbed me up, put me back in a car, and ran to home and put me to bed.
That reminded me of another story.
I was wondering why that orange juice tasted so funny, man. Screwdriver, bro. She was a fan.
Your mom's the fucking shit, bro. I hate to say
mom's
it,
awesome, but it's just it was a different time.
Now that you just did say what they're called screwdrivers, right?
Yeah, orange juice and vodka.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, all right. So I made a drink basically, and this has nothing to do with what I was going to say, but yeah, since you
I
said
call it
that,
the hammer.
No. I call it the Bell X1. Do you know what the Bell X1 was?
No.
The Bell X1 was the first aircraft to break the sound barrier with Chuck Yeager, right?
Mm.
So you might see where I'm going with this.
It's Jägermeister.
No. You take a normal half and half vodka orange juice, right? But you put it in a beer mug, and you get a shot of Jägermeister. And you take that Jägermeister, you drop it in to the screwdriver, and you chug it as fast as you can. And then
it's like a Irish car bomb, except
it's liquor.
It's an Irish car bomb, except it's not an Irish car bomb.
Yeah, that's why we call it.
You have
the
to
Bell
drop
X.
the Baileys in the car with the whiskey
Yeah,
into the Guinness before it curdles.
Yeah, there's not only the Guinness or that thing. There's also what's called a flaming Dr. Pepper. And actually, this is what I was going to talk about. So my uncle used to have blowout parties at my grandparents' house because he was only maybe 10 years older than me, and all of his friends, everybody was passed out. Also, by the way, whenever the girls came over, they had to give me a kiss before they came inside. I was always a ladies' man. But anyway, so the thing is that I knew how to do because I was a big fan of Dr. Pepper.
Brando pulling cougars at 5.
They weren't. Well, I guess to me they would have been cougars, but back then they were probably in their like early 20s. But anyway, they're all passed out and stuff, and that was later on that I tried the Mickey's Big Mouth. That was what I tried. But the thing is that since I love Dr. Peppers, I'd always want to make flaming Dr. Peppers for every girl that came inside. I'd be like, "Can I make you a drink? Can I make you a drink?" I was like 5 or 6 doing this shit, right? And so I'd make flaming Dr. Peppers, which is there's a few different recipes, but I won't go into it. You can look it up online. But later on that night when everybody was passed out, I was walking around and I was like, why is everybody sleeping like this and everything, you know? And there was a Mickey's Big Mouth sitting there and it had beer in it, right? And so I chugged a little bit, not chugged, but I took a sip, you know, but to me it seemed like a chug. And then I was like, ugh, and I spit it out right into, because they have the parties in the basement and they had a fireplace down there, spit it right into the fire. I was like, ugh. And then I put the bottle in there, and then I guess my uncle found it, and my mom ended up busting my ass because I guess they weren't supposed to put glass in I don't fucking know, goddamn. All I know is I got my ass busted at the end.
I got drunk and beat up.
I didn't really get drunk. I just sipped it.
I was drunk and accosted.
And I didn't like the taste of Mickey's Big Mouth, I'll tell you that.
Do you now?
Fuck no. I'll get me some High Life before that shit. I don't think I've
champagne
seen...
bottles.
Right? I don't think I've seen Mickey's Big Mouth since I was living in PA, man.
Hey, so I'm going to ask a question, and it's a very legitimate question. Brando, I have a question about those beers that you were drinking. Are they from Champagne?
No, they're not. Establish this. We've gone over.
He used to drink Red Stripe.
I still drink Red Stripe.
He was drinking those the other day, and I still was making fun of him for the fake champagne beers.
You take what you can get at the price they were for. I would have done it.
Yeah, dude, 12-pack for fucking $10. Woo! Sign me up.
Maybe in my 20s.
Right?
In my 30s,
so,
I have to stick to what I drink.
So, look, I think it's fair enough to say this was a decent show and that we can continue this on to part 2 for another date. And we have plenty of stories of stupid shit we did when we were younger.
Oh, definitely.
So we can continue this on to multiple parts. So, yeah, let's save some for the next time.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
guys. So with that being said, you just want to go ahead and hit them with the
PeskyCatENT@gmail.com, at the
Hit 'em with
Open
the
Mic Show
plugs.
podcast on Facebook, at ENTCat on Twitter. Also IG Cash__West or the Open Mic Show. And I think that's it, right? I got a TikTok Cash West __West. We got one video. I'm not very good at it.
Did
It
you
was
use
stupid.
Twatter on there too, or no?
ENTCat. Both of us have all three of us have streaming pages. Brando El
haven't
Capitan,
streamed in
Steam
forever.
MF Starr, Cash West. I haven't either, but now that I've got my setup figured out a little bit different, I'm going to try.
I'm on
toy
hiatus
with
until I
some
get
stuff later.
my setup back.
Yep, that's fine.
That happens.
I had issues
You'll
with
get it
my
back. Thank you.
accounts. That's why I wasn't on for.
Yeah, and we've all fell behind. It's all right.
I have a lot of saves from the top 3 finishes. Like, we have multiple top 5 finishes last night that I got to share.
Okay, I was gonna
I've
say
got-
we
I've
can
got
either
first
share
place
those
finishes,
straight
I
out
can
or
share.
move them in, and that's Pesky Cat ENT on YouTube for most of that stuff.
So Nerd Zone Gaming is our group. I never fucking plug that. I don't know why. I forget about it.
At
Nerd
the
Zone
Open Mic
Gaming,
Show
look us-
podcast.
Yeah, I already said that, but no, look us up, Nerd Zone Gaming. You can join our group and check out the game streams. But that's all I
right.
got.
All right. Well, with that being said, gentlemen, you guys all have a wonderful night.